Hello, Crafty Crandall fam. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Crandall, and I am a small art YouTuber here to tell you how you can start your own art channel here on YouTube. If you've clicked this video, chances are good that you are interested in starting a YouTube channel, and if that's the case, welcome. I'm going to go through at least all of the tips and tricks that I've developed over the last year and a half of creating YouTube videos for you. Down below you can find the chapter summary for this video, so if there are specific questions that you're interested in having answered, you can go ahead and click around. Otherwise, I'm going to start with the why I believe you should start a YouTube channel and then go from there into the how to create a YouTube channel. I will preface this by saying I am not going to go through the actual creating a Google account, how to post a video. So if that's what you're interested in, I will link down below to a video that a YouTube creator named Catherine Manning created, which goes through all of those specifics, because that's not really what I want to cover today. I want to cover the art YouTube specifics of what you need, how to make a video, etc. So if that's what you're interested in, stick with me and let's go through, first of all, the why. If you've been considering starting a YouTube channel, I'm here to tell you that you should just start. Just start. If there are any unknowns, then honestly working through them in an active manner is the way to go. If you prolong the process, try to gaining all this knowledge before starting, you're never gonna start. A great reason to start your YouTube channel is also getting engaged with the art community. We have millions of people here who are just so interested in art, have amazing tips from around the world on every single various medium that you can think of, and there is a video for everything. So learning from people and just gaining knowledge from the community at large is so much easier when you are a part of the community. I have so many people here who engage with me in my comment section. I engage with them in their comment section, and we learn from each other. It is a fantastic tool for learning. Additionally, it is a fantastic tool for expanding your skill set to talking to a camera, learning how to edit videos. There are just a million skills that can really help you in your day-to-day life and in your various creative projects through starting an art YouTube channel. Let's get into the mechanics of how to start a YouTube channel. There are 3 important things to consider when starting your YouTube channel. Thing number 1 is having an interest in art. Obviously, in order to start an art channel, you need to have an interest in art, whether that be drawing, painting, digital art, portraiture, surrealism, it doesn't matter. You can start an art channel and be very successful here on YouTube. There are an endless amount of people this platform can have to teach us all new things. That being said, you also don't need to be a teacher of any kind. You can have very entertaining art videos. There are so many creators who are doing more entertainment-based creations, and they are super successful as well. So whatever your interest is, wherever your interests lie, you can start a YouTube channel. The things that you will need include something to film on and something to edit on. Chances are good, if you're watching this video, that you have both of those things. You can edit on your phone, you can edit on your iPad. I started my channel editing on my iPad and filming with my phone. I still to this day film with my phone, and it is fantastic. I have since moved to editing on my computer in DaVinci Resolve, but you can do whatever works for you. Whatever equipment you have, you can start with. I will also have a section on auxiliary equipment and things that are nice to have, but you do not need those to start your YouTube channel. If you have something to film on, something to edit on, an interest in art, and a personality to go with that, you can start a YouTube channel. Some things to consider when you are looking into editing your videos is your computing resources. As I said, I started editing on my iPad in iMovie and then moved to editing on my laptop in DaVinci Resolve, which is a more sophisticated editing software, but it does use a lot of computing resources. So that's something to consider, is that if you're going to use a beefier editing software, you need to have the computing resources to kind of combat that. These include the amount of RAM that you have, the amount of storage that you have available, any external storage that you have, and also a dedicated graphics card. This computer has a fair bit of RAM. It has 16 gigabytes of RAM, which at the time was really great. It unfortunately has an Intel i7 processor, and so that combined with the RAM, combined with the non-dedicated graphics card, just means that this doesn't go as fast as a lot of computers that are available in the market today. Therefore, this is one thing that I personally am considering upgrading, is my laptop, so that I can continue to edit in DaVinci Resolve and have it not drop frames when I'm doing a time lapse, and also just have the export times be a lot faster, because export time takes a while. Elsa is always very interested in my editing process and loves to interrupt, so you see her here doing just that. Now, filming art can be a little bit interesting because you generally want a top-down methodology of filming. So the way that I accomplish this is through arm clamps. These guys right here. So these are bendable clamps that I can put on my desk through the mechanism here and then film straight down overhead. These work great. I actually have two of them now. I have one that I am using as kind of an angular shot, and then one that is top down, so that I can start to get multiple angles. Is this absolutely necessary? No, this is not a barrier to entry. This is a nice to have. There are lots of nice to haves, but you don't actually need them. They're just things that can facilitate the process to make it easier. This is what my desk looks like typically when I am filming. I have my chair there, and then I have my lights. So I've got that light right there, and then this one that clamps to my desk. And then, as I said before, I have this arm that clamps to the desk as well. And then I have a second one that I usually clamp right here to film at an angle down on the piece that I'm painting. This board serves as my painting surface, really just because you see how the light reflects off the glass here? I didn't want that to show up in my videos, so I have just a plain wooden plywood board that I painted over so that I would have something less reflective to paint on. I then have some easy to access art supplies here, and I've got my erasers and stuff over there, my pencil sharpener, and then just some knickknacks and toys and things. I really love this functional setup. It works fantastically, and I never feel like I'm being held back by the equipment that I have. In addition to the lighting on my desk, I just want to point out that I also have a stand light here that I can kind of move around based on where I need it, and this is really like the primary light for the room, and so that light also can help facilitate making there be even less shadows on here, because I know sometimes my videos, the lighting will kind of fluctuate. Like if my hand gets in the way too much, it'll make the light fluctuate when I am drawing, and so that's just something to be aware of. You want to have decent lighting. One additional piece of equipment that I have as well is my tripod. I bought this on Amazon Basics, and then I have just a phone clamp there because I film all of my videos from my cell phone. I have the iPhone X XR, and it has worked really well for filming my videos thus far. I'm about 1.5 years into this process, and I don't feel like I really need an expensive camera at all. One more piece of equipment that I bought was this little tripod here. It is a desk-sized tripod, if you will, but it does not allow me to get angular shots, and so I hate this thing, and I would not recommend buying one to anyone who is doing art YouTube. While you might find it functional and useful, I just do not. One piece of equipment that I invested on very early on is this microphone. I don't know that I would necessarily recommend this particular microphone because I don't know how it compares to any other microphone, because this is the only one I've ever used. However, I would highly recommend investing in a separate microphone to film your voiceovers with, because if you're doing art YouTube, chances are at some point you're going to want to voice over some footage of you doing artwork, because talking while you're doing artwork isn't necessarily the most fun thing on the planet, and this can just facilitate that process. Something else that I think is a totally underrated thing within starting a YouTube channel is having space for your art supplies. I am so grateful to have the amount of space that I have, and I think that this is a real game changer as far as organization and just making sure that as you buy new art supplies, you kind of have a place for them to organize them. So since I've started my YouTube channel, I have purchased this palette, this palette, this palette. I've purchased these paints, these crayons, these pencils. The list goes on. My point is that you really want to have a place to store everything and just kind of get organized, because this can be a real game changer. Once you start reviewing products and just accruing more things, you have a place ready for them. Additionally, you can always donate things that you don't need, but having an organizational process is super helpful. Hello, Elsa. Along that same vein is having a place to put your finished artworks. I use these little portfolio binders for all of my loose artworks, and then I have a bunch of different sketchbooks, including this one here. One of my favorites that I was recently purchased is my Illo sketchbook, but truly just having a place for all of your artwork makes a huge difference when you are doing artwork more consistently because you've started a YouTube channel. So I just wanted to throw that out there as something to consider when starting, is just to kind of work through what you're going to do with all that stuff, especially if you're going to be a channel that reviews things. If you're not going to be a channel that reviews things, then maybe this is not the tip for you, but I did just want to mention it. As you can see here, I've got a bit of a mess starting, and so I just wanted to mention that, like, if you're generally an organized person like I am, you might start ending up having clutter, and so this is something that you should consider again. And I will actually be doing a video on organizing art supplies. As I kind of reorganize my space, I'll just give you some insights on that process and how I am restructuring all of this to be a more organized, less chaotic mess. Something that often comes up when it comes to wanting to start a YouTube channel but not really knowing when to start, or not really knowing, you know, if you're going to be able to stick with it, is camera confidence. People are worried about talking in front of the camera, which I understand. It can be a little bit awkward at first. As someone who always talks to themselves though, I don't find it that much different than just my day-to-day ramblings with myself. However, I can see how if you're not used to it, or if you live with other people, it might be a little bit awkward. That said, I think that what you need to do, if that's your hang-up over starting a YouTube channel, is to just start filming videos. Just because you film a video does not mean that you need to post it online. It simply means that you have the content to look at, evaluate whether you feel comfortable in front of the camera, and just practice being in front of the camera. It can be really understated, but such a valuable tool to just practice these things up front. This is a fantastic way to know if you're gonna like it, see if you want to stick with it, and just get used to the process of filming and getting better even before you start your channel, because then you can dive right in and be amazing from the start. That said, I think that the most important point here is to start. I thought about starting a YouTube channel for years before I actually did it. The only thing that made me do it was having all this extra time due to the lockdown. I don't know if I had never had that time, if I would have ever started this, or realized that I do actually have the time to commit to it in my day-to-day schedule now that that time has been reconsumed with my original activities. So if that's your hang-up, I would just highly recommend that you give it a shot. What's the worst that can happen? Your subscriber count can only go up from 0. You can never have negative subscribers. So why not just put yourself out there, give it a shot, and just see how welcoming this art community can be. If you start a YouTube channel because of this video, I would really love to hear it. And if you post a comment in this feed, I will be sure to check out your channel and genuinely watch your videos, because that's what I love about this community. We have a gajillion amazing creators across so many artistic subjects, and we can all learn from one another. Nobody has all of the answers, nobody does everything right, and so come join us, learn from us, let us learn from you, and just perpetuate this fantastic community that's been built over the years by the so many, way too many to count, YouTube channels out there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know if you liked this video down in the comments below. If you learned anything from it, I would love to hear it. Additionally, consider subscribing to this channel. I post new art content every single Tuesday and occasionally on Fridays, along with some book-related content as well. Consider hitting the notification bell if you do subscribe, as that will keep you updated as to when I post, or you can just check back on YouTube. It's fine either way. And again, I do appreciate you watching. Thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye!